Right, okay. What's fun is I fucking like so my Xbox controller was not being detected, which was fun. So I restarted my PC to fix the driver on that. And then and then when I restarted my PC, my keyboard's driver gave out. Like it didn't identify correctly or something. So I unplugged that, plugged that back in, that fixed it. And then immediately after that, my Wi-Fi adapter fucking went down for a second. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Do I not have the required slots for these items? Like, am I being, like, attunement locked? Like, because frankly, I do have a shitload of USB things plugged in at, like, all times. Which probably isn't great, but, you know, it's kind of like with my tablet and my controllers and my mouse and keyboard and both my monitors and my fucking Wi-Fi adapter, like, it's kind of unavoidable. But, you know, it was very confusing and I was a little spooked. I got a little spooked. Hey, Teeps, how's it going? We're gonna try and survive the second part of this trial. February 22nd, 11:56 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Are trials always like this with you? Like, you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there? Pretty much. Except today we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway? Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers. Probably something to do with that piece of cloth. So, this is where we turn the trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth. Oh, fuck women. Don't you remember there were women in the previous... I mean, it was a week ago, but there were women previously. Don't worry about it. There's no reason to be scared. Audio, please. There we go. Okay. I suppose Phoenix didn't properly charge his meter. That is true, actually. I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least. When you're the woman dweeb. There was also another woman on screen. I'm always here. I figured out you wouldn't get jump scared by me at this point. I feel like I'm not that scary. I'm mostly soft and squishy. I do have teeth, though. Like, sharp ones. Guess who gets to wake up at 5 on Monday? I guess you. Kate, jump scare. A booga booga. Officer Marshall. Thought I'd come take a look-see at how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They got a home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. That hard to slip out. Oh, that wasn't Marshall. Teeth that gnaw and claws that catch. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen in the last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example. Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf. You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler. What? At the awards ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth seen it too, I'd reckon. What does that mean? In the photograph taken at the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf. So, Miss Star wasn't mistaken. Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns. And sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. It means that Wen could do a red hot kick at the time, but now she can't. Because she has a scarf on? Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this. So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright? That's concrete, baby. That's concrete. If it's steak sauce, I can hook you up with some fine ribs. Ooh-wee. She used to be beautiful, but now she's a desk worker. She's still beautiful. She's got the red scarf on. February 23rd, 12:32 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 9. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watery eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You're doubled over. Your back is bent. Oh, I bet he ate one of the lunches. It can't be. This can't happen. I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth. Well, then I believe it's time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! Seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me. Knock, knock. Who's there? Oh, wrong voice. Oh, this fucking guy. What's with this guy? A strange stuffy aura seems to be filling the courtroom. Already? Yup, he's already here. Hey, the temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in. Who on earth is he? Ah, it's you. Mr. Scallop Shell Beard? Oh! Sorry I'm late, Utki. The roads were packed. It's just me. Long time no see, eh, Utki? How have you been? Swim much these days? Hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy, smizzy, Utki, my boy. You have to make time to relax. Yes, indeed. Utki? Seems to be his nickname for the judge? I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? So you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks? So sorry about our little Worthy giving you all that trouble, eh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little Worthy? Mr. Wright. You don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's the top-ranking police officer in the entire district. He's killed men with his bare hands, and everybody had to watch. He made them. It was scary. He just had that cold, dead look in his eyes. Name's Gant. Damon Gant. Pleased to meet you, everyone. So, to what do we owe this honor today? Chief of O, please. It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's Worthy here. Look at that poor fellow. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this. Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things. When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. Edgeworth about to shit his pants. Who can blame him? On Little Worthy's car, no less. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Knife. Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth, how could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Stop blinking at me like that, you orange fuck. That's this whole DLC. Now wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there, Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had... Your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel, but you're the person in charge. I'll expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made. Anyway, I have a gun, so shut up. This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Ugh. The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just be sure. I'd like to take a look at this blade, the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I wouldn't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, Edgeworth, you fucked it. Fucking Johnny Fuck Upper. That is quite a nickname. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point it at people anymore. Come on, just hurry up and open it. Oh my god, it's doing the fucking force thing again. Just let me do it. Just let me do it. Okay, now I can do it. Ah, don't scare me like that. I'm the one who's scared. Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off. And this dark red stain. Blood? Switchblade knife added to the court record. Oh boy, a funny tag, yeah.
Slayer.
Presumably there was a Slayer. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police? And this knife. Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really. How pleased do the last 2 hours of last stream have been rendered more or less irrelevant? That's just how these games work. Like, you play some of it, it turns out it was all bullshit and pointless, and then you have to solve it again. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Also, Mr. Dubois is like glowering at me from your stream. Mr. Dubois is glowering at you from my stream? What do you mean? A detective was killed at the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime, the DE companion, is that still on? That doesn't turn off? I have to fucking turn that off. That cannot remain. I figured it'd be like the Destiny companion where it would turn itself off. Is everybody else seeing that? We need to find smokes and smoke them. True. Phoenix is dying for a smoke right now. Where are my fucking extensions? Oh my god. Ah! Settings. Stream. Where are my fucking extensions? I don't know where these are. Streaming tools. Extensions. My extensions. Turn that off because it doesn't even work. Okay. Now you guys should... Shit, fuck, shit. Okay. Now you guys should be able to refresh the stream and it shouldn't be there anymore. Fuck. Okay. The time of the crime, 5:15. A scary coincidence, eh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. There was a murder at the police department? A detective? Bring him back. Well, you shouldn't have refreshed the stream. That's hushy-hush information, Utki. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Gay, huh? Oh my god, they are fucking. Order, order, order. Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? You always pronounce it like judge? Oh, like Udjay or something? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright, 2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. Udgy. The chances of that are really slim, scientifically speaking, of course. I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. He's calling ugly but stupid. Very well, however, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. No. Oh, is it posture check time? I can sit up straight, I promise. I know how. This knife is special, but I can't say how here. Tell me. Tell me now. Excuse me, special? Mm-hmm. Hard to come by in this particular knife anywhere else. Might that special thing be the little tag? Oh, it's hydrate too? You're gonna hit me with both? You're gonna hit me with a wombo combo? I might get killed in this live fire situation in court. Despite that, I will drink water for your convenience and for my own life. Oh, sorry, Righto, but I can't say that now, not that. We've established that the knife in Goodman's chest was this knife. Now, why was there another knife at the scene of the crime? That's quite a mystery. And like a mystery, it's wrapped in something, a muffler. Let me just look at everything. There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92, which is a case file. What's that supposed to mean? I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6, maybe it's a case number? That's weird. What? I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either. Maybe I should check the court record again. Alright. Let's see if we can find something that says SL9 on it. Or something similar. Oh. SL9. Here we go. So 221 SL9. I kind of want to hit him with this because I'm going silly mode. It's a squished cape that says "damn" when. Wait a second. Ah, at last, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife, this has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is so great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s 12 divided by 2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside... The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. Cell 9. That's the same thing that's written on this knife's tag. Order, order. Well, Chief? Ah, well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. Don't dead. Open inside. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. So this knife was stolen? Yes, but on the day of the murder. It was evidence, you say. Was it, in fact, a murder weapon? Nice, nice, nice. Good show, little worthy. It was a murder weapon, as it happens. It was evidence from a case long since solved. So this knife was stolen on the day of the murder. And it was found in the exhaust pipe of Edgeworth's car. Hard to think there isn't a connection there. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. Something happened on the police department too, huh? Can you kill people in this game because you have suggested? What were the technical difficulties? Hi Hollabay, thank you for resubscribing as always. The technical difficulties were... my controller wasn't responding, so I had to restart my PC. When I restarted my PC, my keyboard was no longer being detected, so I had to unplug that and plug it back in, which fixed it. And then immediately after that, my Wi-Fi adapter disconnected and then reconnected. So, several annoying ramping into scary things that just sort of resolved themselves. It was weird. What the hell in damnation? That was my thought exactly. And no, you can't kill people in this game. This is a game about being a defense lawyer. We don't really kill people very much. You got a good look in your eyes there, righto, my boy? Sharp, hungry. So something did happen. And why wasn't I informed? Why weren't you informed? Well, why didn't you ask? I don't know, the law kills people all the time. Yeah, but we're a defense lawyer. We kill them with the state. We are a defense lawyer, we're not prosecutors. We keep people out of the hands of the state. You're all sweaty for mounting a CRT 6 feet up the wall, so time to relax. A CRT 6 feet up the wall? Jesus Christ. Streamer comparing streaming to willingly installing malware on your PC. I do that all the time anyways. No matter, I understand. You were busy, what with Lana's case and all. Yeah, for Dreamcast. Oh. Well, what happened? What happened at the police department that day? A detective was killed at the police department. See? What a mess. On the same day as the detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, righto? I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me your data on your case. Oh, good one. This kid's sharp. One thing and one thing only. Where the victim was found, how the victim was killed, when the victim died. They were killed in the police station. We already know they were killed with the evidence knife. And we know they were killed at, we already know all of these. I think. Why is this man the most unfuckable old man in anime? Oh, you'll find out. I guess where he was found. So tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I've heard of that. The evidence room? Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now? This knife was evidence in the case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's the connection between those two cases. You seem happy, Mr. Wright. I want to know about this man. Has someone edited a model of Ganondorf to be him? That doesn't seem too hard, to be honest. Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With the link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gant to testify about the details. They have the same foul build. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Wright. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we just heard. Quirked up old man body type. The same body type found at Dark Souls. The knife found in the parking lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number with the knife's evidence tag. And we also know the detective was murdered at the police department. Ganondorf is also Link's boyfriend. Debatable. I feel like they kind of hate each other. Was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. I don't know, that can be a relationship. Yeah, I guess. You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. Also, Gant canonically ships Edgeworth and Phoenix. It's right there in the text. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all. What? Really? Who would have guessed? Not me. I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? If you're gonna tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Duh, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can out of him. Let's get the victim's division. ID number? ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that. Of course not. You won't tell me their name, after all. We keep a tight lid on ID number, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 584-2189. Well, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82... I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Well, Mr. Wright, does this tell you anything? ID number of the victim, the police department. 584219. 5842189. It sure fucking does. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meaning? It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Hey, you remember when Von Karma told us his PIN number? Yeah. Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something. What does it tell you? Witness. What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department. The prosecutor's office. 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh ho! Is it yours? No, Your Honor. I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto. Personnel IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, that ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with 82... I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right. Again! God, he's just like me, for real. The number of the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Wait a second, right? What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, sharp as a tack, Righto. Sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 5:15 in the underground parking lot. Yet Detective Bruce Goodman was also killed at the police department. In the evidence room at the exact same time. God, that face. Swag. Swag ever, Judge. I've got the evidence to back me up. That's impossible. So what we're saying is the same person was killed at the same time? And at a completely different location? God, do I need a swag emote now? Order, Chief, what does this mean? No. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm the prosecutor in charge of the case with 3 exclamation points, so you know I'm serious. No, just wait a second, Worthy. No need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said, wait. Or didn't you hear me? Faust is really good. I don't know how anybody couldn't like her. She's fucking terrible. The oversight, the grave error. Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare... We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins? Mr. Wright, where have we heard that name before? Wait, aha! Fucking Meekins. Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. You don't mean him. According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered in the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Ugh. Well, why didn't your officer tell me? Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged. In any case, this is a serious error, a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy. But sir, you could have submitted that report this morning in the court as evidence. Then he really is just like fucking colon closed parentheses. No such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say, unworthy. What? Now, what was the second rule of evidence law, Well, Mr. Wright? Huh? Oh, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. No! No! The cougar! You think I should play the old Deus Ex game? Honestly, I would consider it. The game seems fun. It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy, and with all those rumors. Kate Cougar when? Oh my god, that would be so funny. Holy shit. You were even the defendant's chair just this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth. Play Honk. I have considered booting up Honkai Star Rail for a stream, if you guys would be interested in that. Read that as Kate Berg for a moment. Kate Berg would also be a good emote. But yeah, Kate Hungry is pretty universally applicable. Please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. If it's the last thing I do. You might like March? Okay. You'd better get results this time. Really? You have my profound apologies, sir. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I don't think there's ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Need to get a phone thing set up so I can do Fate or Arknights. I would honestly do Arknights on stream because I love all the girls so very much, but I am truly embarrassingly bad at it. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake, I hope it's not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. Oh, also, Arknights is getting a crossover with Destiny 2. I just remembered. I'm so fucking excited. Ugh. I might just boot it up just to see what they do with it. Also, I want to see, like, what armor or whatever that we get in Destiny 2 for Arknights. Because, like, all of the fucking Arknights girls have such excellent designs. Oh my god, they're gonna old Yeller Edgeworth. Yeah, they're gonna take him out behind the courtroom and shoot him. Or Gant is just gonna crush him with his big old hands. Zavala, Defender Zavala? I mean, yeah, obviously. With Lance dead, true, but they also might just find another... Actually, we don't know how long the lines ago there, but honestly, if I think they add Zavala, I think they'd probably just find a different voice actor? Probably. Or they might just do, like, generic Guardians. Like, they might just do, like, the trailer Guardians. They might do Saint. Saint would be cool. You get Arknight's armor and Destiny confirmed. I believe the crossover is confirmed. We're not sure what we're going to get, but every other crossover has been armor. So I hope so, because Arknight's armor looks so fucking good. I might actually drop some money on it. If, you know, I can't muster up the Bright Dust. Except Among Us and Fall Guys. I mean, what else? What are they gonna put in the games from there? Cat ears for hunters? God, I only hope so. You're gonna get cat ears? I better get fucking cat ears. I might even give up my cowboy hat for cat ears. Dragon antlers for warlocks? I could see that. Oh, Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case anyway? I'm a little confused. Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot and the police department's evidence room. What's this "and the evidence room" part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. Like, it was one thing to get fucking people who couldn't do, like, arts or magic or anything with the Rainbow Six Siege people. Like, that makes sense. It is like they couldn't do arts or interact with Originium in any way. But I'm just imagining fucking people who can do magic without Originium coming into Arknights of all places. Like, specifically Guardians who can die and respawn over and over again in this, like, bleak-ass fucking game. It's just gonna be really fucking funny, I feel like. I feel like it's gonna be a funny DLC. Well, that's what we're gonna find out. Or try to, at least. It's already lazy. Maybe they generate Originium instead of light because there's no Traveler in Arknights. That might also be true. I'm probably gonna boot up Arknights just to play the event when it comes out. Just to, like, experience that. Alright, let's do it. Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's gonna be much help with this. I mean, either way, Guardian's main drive is being the most deadly thing around. Like, that's their whole shit. If, like, I guarantee you if a Warlock found out about fucking Originium, they would fucking just, they would go crazy. Like, shit would get crazy so fast. Especially, like, a Warlock. Don't be so sure, Mr. Wright. Huh? Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show. Let's go. Science awaits us. Girl, those are, like, fashion glasses. Those aren't, like, thick-rimmed, like, nerd glasses. February 23rd, Prosecutor's Office, underground parking lot. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. First, you can't play one, also you can't play, like, parts of the story of Destiny 2, so you kind of gave up on that? What do you mean you can't play one? Like, you can 100% play one. Like, I could boot up one right now. Like, you can't play it on PC, but you can play it. You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder. There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares? No console, probably. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie. Besides, my sister would never do such a thing. I know it. I don't have a not PC and no money. Oh, yeah, that would do it. That oil drum. Was it empty? The oil drum, kicked over by the chief prosecutor, was brimming with water. My sister erasing evidence of the crime scene? Never. Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister. That's not it at all. It's just, we're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her. The rice ball hat, yeah. Kind of dripped out, to be honest. Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away. Heh. Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright. Huh? What's that grin for? This situation calls for one thing, and that is luminol testing fluid. Luminol? Blood is sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. That is true. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. But wouldn't the police have already done these tests? Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. Just give it a try. Me? Why do I have to do it? I'm a minor. I can't even drink yet. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it. Here, look. I'll lend you these glasses. Huh? You had an extra pair of those things? To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press enter to spray it on. Or, you know, A, in my case. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains. Boop. Oh my god, that sure is an effect. I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So is it a bloodstain?
Slayer.
It's so... Ugh. Emma, you're shaking. It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood. Scientific investigation in action. Oh, okay. We definitely know that this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course? What's odd about this, scientifically? The amount of blood. You gotta use a fishing rod to... Oh, you only have the fucking fishing rod container for the Dreamcast. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood? I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe. It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans when we find the bloodstain, okay? Yeah, you should listen to me. Even if my version of the truth isn't correct, it's still the one you should listen to. Teach her to read. Don't ever teach me to read. Being able to read only half of a sentence is a boon, in fact. I could go through life discovering so many new things because I was just wrong about them the first time. See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right? Yeah, and this stuff's pretty handy too. I saved up my allowance to buy that. Luminol testing fluid received from one very proud-looking Emma Skye. We can't be sure that the police will reveal all of their evidence in court. Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case. And let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day. Yeah. It feels like we're really investigating a crime now, doesn't it? Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. Ha! I wonder how that fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box. Miss Starr! You only trust your own eyes. Not bad, you two. This day-old deli box is on the house. Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering. Yeah, can you, move? I'm gonna use my funny testing fluid. Okay, I was gonna use it. How do I... Spray to use. Oh. This blood must be from when Lana... No, my sister isn't the murderer. Got it in one? I mean, I knew they went over to the phone. But she did actually call you, didn't she? At the time of the crime? And her right hand is bandaged. Hey, just whose side are you on? This has nothing to do with taking sides. So this means that Lana's hand had blood on it. This just keeps getting worse. Suspicious ladder. Suspicious door. Buttons. Suspicious barrel. Vents? Was anybody venting over here? No? Okay, Anna, we're good. You certainly put me in a tight spot today. My apologies, Miss Starr, but... No, it's okay. It was my fault. Oh, we know. I witnessed everything from that security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry. Sorry? You lied on the witness stand. That's unforgivable. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and that testimony still stands. I swear it on my honor as a detective. She stabbed Goodman. I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what? So, you were a detective, weren't you, Miss Starr? Yes, that was a long time ago. Well, 2 years ago. No matter how hardened the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it up. Coughed it up? They confessed. They babbled like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too. I wouldn't doubt it. Every day I drag the dirt out of the mouths of suspect after suspect. And before long they called me the Cough-Up Queen. Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches. And you were let go? Fired? I felt that I'd found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case. The SL9 incident. SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... what do you think about this? The SL9 incident. It's written on that knife. And on that note, Goodman. Goodman was the head detective on that case, you know? Really? That knife was evidence from that case. The murder weapon. It was due for transferal the very day that Goodman was killed. Classic SL9 prank. We all do it. Hell yeah. I write SL9 everywhere, just to fuck with people. As I suspected, SL9 isn't over. Not yet. Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident? Knife? Question mark? It makes me think that there would be another talking option, but it doesn't give me one. I had one of those up until 2 years ago. Fuck. Back when you were the cough-up cream, right? We found this ID card here in this parking lot. Well, there's no mistaking that. It's definitely Goodman's. But, it's the same ID as the man who was killed at the police department. That's impossible. I wish I could be so sure. I kind of, thought she might tell me something about the SL9 incident, but, whenever I show her something about it, it's just like, man, I wish I could tell you more about the SL9 incident. And there's no talk option about the SL9 incident. That looks like a petrified piece of provolone. Huh? It's not. It's my attorney's badge. I'd like to think a petrified piece of provolone would fetch more on the open market. Look, my badge isn't up for sale. Not yet, at least. I'm gonna talk to the car. The car is smarter than the other people we've talked to in here. I don't think it's a smart car, but it is probably still smarter. I'm just gonna show her fucking everything, I guess. Yeah, this is it's just tea. Can you present characters? Can you present characters in Rise from Ashes? Oh, that's a good idea. Gratitude? I have, but that would have been the suspects. Still, it's strange. Why didn't our chief prosecutor have her own murder weapon ready? Yeah, you cannot present characters, or at least I can't at this part. And this is hot tea again. What about the SL knife? Both of them give the same conversation. Both the knife and the, So I am going to go to the police department, see if I can get in there. It's even busier here than it was yesterday. The detectives are running around so fast they're blurring. I suppose it makes sense. A detective did get killed here, after all. So, the evidence room. The scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is. She's like a kid in an amusement park. Oh, a real crime scene. Let's go take a look. Oh. I see. What's with the decor in this place? It's very eccentric. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room. So beyond that door is the evidence room, the scene of the crime. It sure seems that way. Oh. What's wrong? It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so opposing. It's hard to think straight. If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where's the guard? I have a feeling I know who he is already. Ah, why bonk me? Why you bonk? I want to go in. Oh. Look, on the floor, a lasso. Can you imagine Marshall in the cow print hat? I mean, of course I can. Looks like it's set up to trap something. A trap here? Wait, I know. Maybe someone was trying to catch a wild bull in here. But the lasso missed. You sure have an active imagination. The evidence room is beyond that door. Let's just walk in. It won't open. You thought it'd be open? I think we need someone's permission to go in there first. What if I just use my, what if I just use the ID? Can I bust in there by myself or what? It looks like there's a video feed from the evidence room here. There's a light blinking below the monitor. It says recording. I bet we could use this computer to check on who went in and out of there. We probably should. Hat. Yipes, those sure are prickly. They must be a real deal. I would think just one big one would be sufficient. These cacti are a lot like my sister, actually. How so? Oh god, the sad music started. Oh, fuck. Encased in a cold, rigid shell with spines pointing in every direction. Just like her. I'm not sure I see the resemblance. It's more of an attitude thing than a physical similarity. The sad music fake out. There's a security guard uniform hanging here. Looks more like a costume than a uniform, honestly. A leather jacket, leather pants, a leather... What was that called again? A punchy? A paunchy? A pinchy? I know, a poochie. Wait, maybe that wasn't it. It's a poncho, but I think I'll keep that information to myself for the time being. Anything else to look at? Oh. This swinging door makes the place look like some kind of saloon. But look, it's nailed shut. You can't get in that way. Of course not. If you went in through here, the cactus would fall over. Ouch. I'd say it'd be more of a yarg myself. Lots of yargs in this DLC here. Oh no, her Jolly-Base Dreamcast is sick. Wow, everyone looks deadly serious here. Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department. Yes, but the same detective was also killed in the same time in the prosecutor's lot. Did you solve every crime in the world yet? I'm still working on one. I've solved approximately 3 crimes, and now I'm working on the 4th one. Ugh, makes my head hurt. Well, first things first. Let's go check out the police department's crime scene. Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up, or we could wind up dead. I doubt anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us much either. Excuse me, sir? Could we get into the evidence room? That must be the chief of detectives. He's glued to his computer screen. What? Detective killed in evidence room? Tell no one outside the police department? No, I told that old lady at the restaurant everything. Someone's getting a demotion. So this is the police mascot, is it? The Blue Badger, the future star of the police force. The design's a little changed from the one outside. Ah, well, the Dancing Blue Badger TM is still under development, you see. You have it trademarked? Absolutely. It's cutting-edge stuff. Very now. I showed this doll here to my daughter, and she burst into tears. Don't show her the moving mock-up outside, then. You'll give her nightmares. Literally the scariest thing in the world. That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. I know, the killer used dry ice. If you put it between the latch and the door, the room could be sealed shut. This is good. I'll win a writer's award for sure. He's not writing a report, he's writing a novel. Finally, police doing some good work around here. These are the detectives' desks. There are computers and files on each one. Funny, they're a lot tidier than I expect. I guess the detectives don't spend a lot of time at their desks. Nothing really to look at over here. Yeah, it looks like we're done here. Nobody to help us. Lana, can you get us into the evidence room? Looks like Miss Sky is in questioning. I hope the detectives aren't yelling at her. How did you kill him in 2 places at the same time? Can you imagine? How's she supposed to answer that? Wait a second. Didn't Mr. Gant say they'd arrested a suspect in the police department murder? Let's come back later. Okay. I guess parking lot. If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. But even I get flustered sometimes. So you went straight to the scene of the crime? I rushed towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murder. And that's when I took this photo, yes. In other words, 5 minutes after the crime? Those 5 minutes are the whole problem. The hole in my testimony, as it were. The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Starr. You lying was the problem. Listen, little girl. I had my testimony disregarded before. And I wasn't going to have it disregarded again. Just like that time. That time. You. Yes? You said you wanted some hot tea, right? No, but thanks. She didn't even look at it. You must have to brew the leaves a long time to get the rich flavor like this. We pre-infuse the leaves with steam before brewing. I knew it! So that's the secret to their aroma. Exquisite! The only thing I'm smelling here is wasted time. Yeah, nope, nothing. I wonder what real brewed green tea tastes like. I bet it tastes like leaves. She's not giving me anything. Fuck. Okay, now we can talk to her about it, I guess. For some reason. Now it's available. Give her ketamine. Good idea. That incident really opened up my eyes to the truth. We are nothing to them. Disposable. Disposable? To who? 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. Who's that guy in the bottom left? There's like another cowboy. Like there's two fucking cowboys. And like a fucking noir story like femme fatale at this fucking table. And then a noir protagonist. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence. So they didn't solve it? On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. The criminal was caught and executed. Executed? Yes, the criminal got what was coming to him. It doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find decisive evidence. Not a shred. What? But the criminal was executed, right? On the basis of evidence, of a sort. Made up evidence. What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence? The best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job. And you were one of those? Damn, the police surely would never do that. Thank goodness this is a fictional game, not based on anything in reality. Tarnished. Myself and one other person you know well. Wait, could it be... Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Godric the Planted Evidence. Godric the Planted. Lord of all that is falsified. Oops, I mean, Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall. As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over, and he was demoted. More like cringe lord of all that is falsified. Also true. However, he hasn't forgotten, and neither have I. You haven't forgotten SL9? There was another side to that case, a hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us. Wait, those lunches you sell. There's only one reason I come to sell lunches at this accursed office. I come here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate. Mr. Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence. There has to be a connection. So, Rookie? What? It seems like you're serious about investigating this case. Yes. Then you should take this. A Salisbury steak lunch? I know a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat. I can't imagine who that would be. Mr. Jesus Christ. Miss Star? Officer Marshall, is he your, and are you his, are you going out? Stop playing Arknights because you couldn't beat Frost Nova, but you booted up and beat her first try. What the fuck happened? Frost Nova's like really hard until you take a step back and like think about it. It's really just deploying at the proper time and like spacing her out and like knowing where she's going to attack. Why do you want to know? I was just wondering what happened to him. A long time ago, when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. I got like just past Frostleaf and then it got harder again. Frost Nova, rather. Can't all be like Crown Slayer getting so bullied her younger sibling has a mental breakdown. I mean, Crown Slayer at this point will see Lapland at any point and have a mental breakdown. She gets so fucking bullied. Or the little squirrel. What is her name? The funny squirrel firefighter also bullies her so bad. Shaw, yeah. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then. Miss doesn't believe in commas. Or spaces. This would be when Officer Marshall was a detective. Just DPS'd her fast enough to vanish her. Oh yeah, I mean, generally the intended strategy is to DPS the fuck out of her as fast as possible. But if you just turn off her abilities, she just walks and is basically like a mediocre unit. And if you like just have her teleport in front of Shaw, Shaw can just push her into a pit and instant kill her. The real important part is just not putting blockers in front of her, because she'll just teleport around them. But now he's so cold. Jake and I merely cooperating in this investigation. We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that. Lapland just turns off her abilities. Yeah, it prevents her from teleporting, in which case you could just dump a fucking defender in front of her. Yeah, as long as you have Lapland's like intrinsic trait that turns off abilities, you can just put her like, as long as she hits Crown Slayer, Crown Slayer's gonna get owned. Like, no question. We're putting the past to rest. Yeah, okay. I see. Thank you. Officer Jake Marshall. Okay, later. The Laptex GF Wombo combo. I mean, Lapland and Texas have their own sort of ways of dealing with Crown Slayer. Fucking Lapland turns off their abilities, and Texas just has like a big stun, which always works, which always helps out a lot. Just here for Lapland being voiced by a VA known for voicing unhinged fail woman. I mean, that's a typecast if ever there was one. She's one of the most unhinged fucking characters in Arknights. This place is charged with frantic energy as always. Please! Huh? Wasn't that? One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Only recently got Texas too. Texas is extremely good. She's one of the best vanguards in the game. So what's Gravel besides kissing you? Gravel is also one of the best units in the entire game. if you fuck up your, like, defensive positioning and you have a Gravel, you can use her in place of a defender. And you can take her out and redeploy her, like, over and over and over while you work through units. Like, her defense is fucking ludicrous for how cheap she is. You crush Siege through, like... Oh, yeah. Siege is insane. Siege is also one of the best, Vanguards in the game. Gravel's kissing me with tongue and serving cunt in her alt outfit. Oh, yeah, I had to get her alt because she deserves it. Honestly, I don't even use her very much because I feel like it's cheating. You don't want to use Gravel. She kisses you. She gives you kissies and you don't want to use her in combat? Why not? She's a funny assassin. She wants to help out and get kissies. Just put Hoshi in front of the door and let other girls shoot the enemies. Oh yeah, Hoshi is one of the best defenders in the entire game. Like, if you want a default defender, Hoshi is the one you want. Gravel, Platinum, and Swire top 3 easy. I mean, once you get Platinum's permanent up, it's hard to find a better sniper. It's like Blaze. Once you get Blaze's permanent up, like, it's almost impossible to find a better guard. But Platinum's is, like, similar, but for snipers. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak lunch from Lunchland. Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale. Look how sad he is. Look at how sad he got made just there. Literally infinite sadness contained in this man. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair. We caught a criminal. We just need evidence. You kicked him in the stomach and balls. They're all the old one, too. Stomach and balls. What if Columbo was wet and pathetic? What do you mean, what if? Columbo's like one of the most wet and pathetic TV characters out there, and that's why we love him. The criminal, you mean? You heard about the stabbing at the police department evidence room, right, pal? He's not pathetic, what the fuck? I mean, he presents pathetic. Columbo's a short king derogatory. Don't you fucking say derogatory things about Columbo. He built this genre with his bare hands. Right next to Sherlock Holmes. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot. Another detective was killed at the police department? And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Why are we replaying this? I mean, I guess if I, like, stop streaming. It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But, Detective Gumshoe, who was it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need me a steak lunch pronto. Standing around here talking isn't gonna fill my belly. Wait, don't leave. If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later. Okay. He ran off to the evidence room. Well, this investigation is off to a running start. I guess I should go to the fucking, detention center then. Since I was advised to do that. Still, I do feel better about things. A little. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they? Yeah, I guess they did. Best not to go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing. Ween? What was that? Sir, that's what I'm saying. Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was perpetrated against, sir. That's what I'd say. Oh no, Meekins. Meekins, no! Anybody but Meekins. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck Meekins. If there ever was a sad, wet, and pathetic character in fucking Phoenix Wright in Ace Attorney, it is Meekins. Hi. Greetings, sir. Wait, I know who you are. Officer Meekins. So you're a guard here at the detention center? Lily leaves and Ellie returns. Truly, the cycle of kitties commences. Posture check and a hydrate. I can do those. I'm confident in my ability to do those things. You guys don't get too much of my fucking slurping, do you? You don't hear that? Or have I been, like, embarrassing myself every stream? No, sir. I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman. Like a little lost lamb, sir. Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report? You do, but it's hot. What the fuck? No, you don't? Oh, thank God. No, sir. How should I say this? Wait, he isn't... Is he? You... Officer Meekins, you didn't... Did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekins reporting, sir! What? What? Now this is an unexpected turn of events. Sir, I'm a patrolman, General Affairs, sir! Sir! Ow. I can hear you just fine, Officer Meekins. I had some business that day, sir. And so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir. So, normally there's a guard at the evidence room. That's right, sir. Because evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? I hate that radio whine noise. It's the megaphone fucking screeching. Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir. A suspicious person. Ow, ow, ow. What the heck is this guy doing? So what happened then? After that, sir, everything went right. I saw red. I blacked out. And when I came to, I was here in the detention center. How long were you out? Days? I can't believe they tried to make him a reoccurring guy. Like, they needed a sad, wet creature. This isn't even a beast, this is a creature. Might I ask, what happened to your hand? Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like Miss Sky. Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office. First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. About your hand, did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir, don't you think you should just confess? But sir, but there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed the knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were, huh? Then when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir, all alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared. What? That's when I looked down and it was gushing blood from my hands, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared? That's some story. This is gonna destroy my throat. I don't mean to pry, but you are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you have to label me as the perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim. I would, but you happen to be in detention, and alive and well at that. Yes, well, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger. Then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So you didn't know him. Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light and other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives. So, if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him? Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. At least someone around here is more confused than I am. Knife. Officer Meekins, this is for you. I'm scared of knives, sir. It's okay, I just wanted you to take a look at it. That's it, sir. Last night, sir, that's the one. I was in Apples, sir, in my dream, sir, and I was being peeled. On second thought, you don't have to look at the knife. He's overreacting the knife, but I guess he's been through a lot. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir. He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright. It takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. Anything else I should show him? This? Do you think you could take a look at this? Hey! That's it, sir! That's it! That's it! That's what? My head was a blank until this very moment. But, sir, now I remember. I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! That card was the cause of it all. This ID card? Exactly, sir. That's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Can you tell me what it is you do remember?
Slayer.
I'm slaying these fucking cases. Well, sir, you might say I'm a lost little patrolman. A lost little lamb, if you will. Ow. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious. Ow. Damn it. My goddamn skull. It's in pieces. Smashed to powder. 2 coconuts. I do have 2 coconuts, to be fair. Ow! I don't have 3 coconuts. I'm just getting fucking bonked. That's too many coconuts. Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show me his ID card. Her coconuts. Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far. That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show you his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing! He pointed a knife at me! What? Sir, I assure you, I was as flustered as you are right now. So I whooped it, I leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir. What happened then? Well, my eyes, sir. Everything went white. When I woke, I was here. Right. So, Officer Meekins, why was it they arrested you? What do you mean, Emma? Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekins didn't know Detective Goodman, and the victim, whom he met at the scene of the crime, didn't show his ID card. In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim. And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, amazed at how bad this character is. I know, it's unbelievable. We don't even know if anyone actually died. That's it, sir. That's what I wanted to say. I did say something along those lines. Huh? But you still ended up here? They told me that it had to be him, sir. On that day, at that time. Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events clearly. No, but the videotape is quite clear. Huh? Videotape? From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on the tape. And you waited until now to tell us this? I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No, thanks, I have my own. Well, I guess we could better check out the crime scene. Hey, later, bitch. Later, Meekins. You son of a bitch. Hey, Mr. Wright, look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives desk. It's Police Chief Gant. And you're sure this is all, You know what it means if there's anything missing. Sir, I'm sure it's most likely totally perfect. We checked all of his drawers. Lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under a seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside this personal coffee machine. I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away. Deal? Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. Chief Detective looks a little flustered. Oh, righto, my boy. How have you been? Swim much? Oh ho, Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir. Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright? This guy has fucking vampire music. Is Edgeworth gonna be okay? Oh, Worthy, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yeah, well, they had no end of trouble with the boy since last year. You mean the incident at Gourd Lake? It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? Can you taser the Sunberg guy? Like, I don't know, just because it feels right. We don't have a taser, unfortunately. But it's funny you mentioned that, because I feel like that does come into play at some point. And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Righto? Von Karma. A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. Von Karma tasered you and Maya. Okay, I couldn't remember if that was the last case we did or this one. Dracula. Yeah, basically. But in court, you fixed it, so he was caught for forging evidence. Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence. In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf, too, I mean. They are being the prosecutors, I assume. Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says. What evidence is this? Now, Righto, I can't give all our secrets just like that. And in this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive, and I can't talk about it. I wasn't expecting much anyway. You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets! Can't stand them. But, you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the Chief of Detectives' trap shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier? Huh? You saw that? Whoops. I wonder what it was that he wanted the Chief of Detectives to do. Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him. Look at this. I was wondering, could you take a look at this? Sorry, Righto. I'm through with that stuff. Through, I say. Go find that guy who can't seem to sit still out there, the busy one. The guy who can't sit still. Does he mean Detective Gumshoe? Either him or the Dancing Blue Badger. Oh yeah? Well, what about this? Wahoo! The Blue Badger is still writhing around today. Yay! Wahoo! Yay! Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's dancing. Speaking of dancing, the whole police department has been dancing around like crazy since yesterday. Can I take out his batteries? I just can't help but feel like he's gonna do something naughty. Okay, Emma. Alright. Look, that patrolman is saluting the other guy. He must be a detective. Answer me. How many fingers do you see? I'm sorry, I don't know. Yeah, BB fucking it up hard style. Hell yeah. This must be the BB that everyone's talking about all the time. Well, that's 20 for the left, but nowhere near that for the right. Get glasses, officer. That wasn't a salute. It was an eye test. They make a good pair. I hear you can make it spin on Ichi's stream. I know, right? Alright, we've got to find Gumshoe. Or we'll go to the guard station, see if we can get into the Evans room. He's not here, so, maybe... Where the hell is he? Gumshoe! Gumshoe! Well, this place is as classy today as it was yesterday. And I'm sure it'll still be just as classy tomorrow, Emma. Incidentally, Edgeworth's not here. I'm sure he's off doing important investigations. I hope that's what he's doing. I guess we'll have to come back. Hey, a chessboard. I'm not too up on my chess, but it looks like blue's in a bit of a tight spot. The red knights have surrounded the blue pawn. Huh? Those horses are mounted knights. Their swords have really sharp edges. And check out that poor pawn. His head is kind of spiky. Kind of reminds me of you. Mr. Edgeworth must be an avid chess player. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Edges surrounding a pawn with spiky hair. Nah, it's nothing. Is there anything new in here? I don't think there is. Where the hell is he? I guess I need to go show fucking, I need to figure out what I need to show Gant, I guess. Yeah, he's just gonna keep saying this, I feel like. It's Friday, right? It is Friday. Or maybe we'll go check out fucking, check out the guard station again? Maybe? No, can't look at the screens. It just says Texas on it. Jesus Christ. I hear that they shoot people for that in Texas, you know? Is there anything I can talk to her about now? No. Today is Friday in California, after all. I have been told that. Beacons. Wild Wild Westaboo. Yeah, just like fucking funny berserker Musashi. I guess I'll just keep showing him things. If he eventually lets me do that. I would love to find Gumshoe, but I don't know where he is. Actually, no, we were gonna ask fucking, this guy something discreetly. Oh, sorry you had to see that. What exactly did the chief of police want you to do? Well, see over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. So nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here. Of course not. Well, except for this. What? You kept something? Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete. A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something? The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that just in case. Stelcock Reel. I should really get back to investigating the police department crime scene. ID 59, but the 9's crossed out. Bruce Goodman, 221. And then 221. Or actually, no, it's 12-2, right? No, it's flipped over. Yeah, it's 221. So those go together. Okay. I fucking want to get in there, but it won't let me. Fucking hell. I think I just have to get fucking the chief in trouble. Hey, look at this. Oh, he doesn't fucking care. Okay. ID 59. What was this? 58. Okay. I get the feeling Bruce wasn't the one who wrote this. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. I never thought the day would come when Wright asked me for help. I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room. Now, Righto. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't need to investigate after all. Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Huh? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. Could I have, like, $500? So go ahead, investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't use it. Don't lose it, rather. This Yuri series is real funny. Well, you gotta tell me which one it is. You just run along now and do your best. Later, folks. And then he fades out of existence. Like a vampire. Heh, it looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID. The one you sent. Oh, the guy she had a crush on wasn't a guy at all. That one's really good, actually. Like, I like it a lot. The art's extremely good. You seem happy. Yes, sir. Because, sir, we get to go into the evidence room now, sir. I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. True. She keeps calling people sir. Never a good sign. The evidence room is beyond that door. And we have the ID card from Chief Gann. Let's just walk in. It won't open. Aha! The card reader's turned off. See? You like the girls' look because that's how you used to dress in high school? So solidarity. Yeah, I really like how they design characters and like the fashion of characters in that manga. It's really good. What is that security guard thinking? Howdy, partners. Well, well, what's made my Bambina's skies so gray? Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? What's that why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon. We're here to investigate the crime scene. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest. That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts. Yeehaw? Well, what's you standing there for? Get along, little dogies. The crime scene's awaiting. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you hombres. You're busy, then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us hombres. Alright, fine, dick. Evidence room. There's a whole car door there with a fucking handcuff attached to it. And what looks like a metal detector cane and a fishing line. So this is the evidence room. It really is kind of like a graveyard. Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue. Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Eh. Whoa! And they both died. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So is it true what I heard? Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50, I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate the room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out. Yeah, it's true. So, Chief of Police Gant will loan anyone $50? Even me? Oh, so that's what you were talking about. Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today? Boss for a day. But guess what? You got permission from the chief, so now you're boss for a day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Scene of the stabbing of a detective at the PD. Oh, it's the evidence room floor plans. Boom. Very interesting room. Extremely interesting room. So, Detective Gumshoe, your boss for the day? That's right. It's an honor. I hate this room. It's so well designed, though. It's not even... It's like a hallway. It's like if a hallway was a room. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department. But if you're boss, why are you all alone? We're your underlings. They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation. Again. Slap some wheels on. That's an RV. An RV that's at a 90-degree angle. Would you say it's a box or more of a crate? I'd say it's more of a hallway. Or like a rectangular prism. Or two rectangular prisms taped to each other. I'm adamant, though. I'm going to take control and put this case to rest. In my own evidence locker, pal. You have a locker in here, dude? Too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I am a detective, after all. They gave me a locker that only I can open, pal. Only you can open? I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens. So, Mr. Edgeworth is with the inquiry committee now, right? They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in court today. We just open it like this. Hey. You're gonna open up my skull, bro. Dude. My fucking skull. I don't need everything in there getting out. People don't need to see what's happening in there. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. It's like Nyan Cat with Yuri manga, flipping at like 50% opacity. Little bit. Every locker is fixed that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my 3rd card since entering the force already. That sounds like a lot. Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand. Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint? Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. Fingerprint scanners, notably pretty easy to bypass a lot of the time. So the only locker we can open is our own. Funny, they look like normal lockers. These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see? The handles? On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it, you zap, you get a shock. If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. You can't open the lockers if your fingerprint doesn't match. And if you can open it, they'll give you 50 cents. Note, the police department lacks faith in its lock system. What the fuck? Her uncle is hot. Seeing Teeb's fucking live, like, truly live blogging Yuri in my chat is just fantastic. So what's the game about now? Literally the same thing as before, except now we're in the evidence room. After all, Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his locker. But at the same time, he was found dead over at the prosecutor's office. You blinked. What is Teeps reading? It's a Yuri called The Guy She Had a Crush On. It wasn't a guy at all. It's very good. It has excellent art. It's not what I want to spray. I want to spray. What is it? What is? Oh, we're still in the present menu. That's why. Let me spray some things. Evidence room, does that mean we can smoke some ketamine? Only if we find some. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was a horseshoe crab? Was actually an alien? This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours? Please. You have to help me. What if when they come to take me away? Promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. Based gumshoe? Question mark? What? But you're a detective. Paint. Definitely paint, not blood. Good to know. Alright. Look, this one's open. And the red indicator light above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. Some rubble? Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? Detective Goodman smoked paint, perhaps? First of all, you inhale paint fumes. Second of all, probably not. He might get some on his white suit. It's definitely ketamine, not paint. The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces here? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. You want to try to put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. I believe the technical term is huffing. Also, that's for spray paint. You do it in a paper bag. Actually, now I'm pretty sure you just punch a straw through the lid and you just drink paint out of the can. Like a soda. That's why I always carry around a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks a bit like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in paste. This juice is banging, yo. It's paint, asshole. Oh, it's fucking spinned. Wait. Come on. But really? Put that piece up there, look perfect. Whatever. Oh. I'm hip. I could probably do a puzzle. No? Really? Okay. You should play the silver case next. I don't know what that is. VN Kate is fun. Oh, I'm glad. Maybe I should play more of them. A Suda 51 joint. Oh, God. Nipako P90 build. Aw, nice. Are we sure? That was like the right side. Probably here. No? Okay. Coffee talk for the calf. Oh yeah, I'm definitely playing Coffee Talk next. You should smoke methamphetamine. It's fun. Pass. That's gonna be a pass for me. Look, Numu can smoke whatever they want. I'm not going to smoke meth, though. Think of there was recent Kamen Rider Cedar with a crippling ketamine addiction. Oh my god. For pain, mostly. Okay, that makes more sense. But also, why would a doctor prescribe ketamine when there are other painkillers? Also, isn't ketamine not... It's a tranquilizer, not a painkiller. Right? Like, isn't it literally horse tranquilizer? The rider was a horse. They didn't. He did it to avoid eating Soylent Green. To avoid eating Soylent Green? I mean, why would you not want to eat Soylent Green? I don't understand. Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Because it was people. I mean, that's not a big deal. Like, fucking, whatever. Who cares? It's the perfect food. Just because it's made of people doesn't make it not perfect. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, it doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Unstable jar. This is how venture capitalists talk. Be careful. I'm not venturing anywhere. I'm just, like, if somebody serves me Soylent Green, I'll be like, you know what? I'll try that. What's this, blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. Yeah, we already discovered that. Looks like somebody tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright, what if there are other bloodstains left in the room? We should use our testing fluid to check it out. Okay. You shouldn't be like that. Try and stop me. This place is stuffed with evidence, stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey pal, our security is high-tech around here. What's this? I don't know what it is. 2. What is labeled over there with 2? If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. There are 2 things that bother me. 1, why are some of the pieces missing? What handedness do your figures have? Like, if they're holding a gun, would it be left or right? I mean, I usually do right-handed just because I'm right-handed. But theoretically, you could do left-handed. Dude, doesn't it seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke. Soylent Green? Delicious. Love it. This is a paid advertisement. Look, if Soylent Green wanted to sponsor me, I wouldn't turn them down. I'll make sure to remember that the next time I make a jar. Paint. What is a saw and paint doing here? You're stealing Asato's left shooting hand for Nepako? That's fine. Since the dawn of time, true art has always been a war against oppression. Based Gumshoe again? True art. I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Oh my god, is he talking about fucking Blue Badger as a war against oppression? Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room? Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe that guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and he got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. Why is it evidence? Some sort of bulky equipment is gathering dust here. What a sorry-looking fishing pole that is. Ever since Edgeworth cut my salary like 900 times, I live here, pal. I mean, yeah, I don't know what you expect. He did cut his salary like 900 times. That's my personal pole. And still he won't give up on him. At all, which is both terrifying and admirable. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal. That's that metal detector. The one that led to the solving that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like it was ages ago. And I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy for in solving some case sooner or later. I'm, like, fucking terrified of addiction, Yumu, now that you mention it. Like, when I had all my wisdom teeth out, like, at once, the doctors were just like, here's a fucking bottle of, oh, I can't remember what it is. It was some kind of opioid. Something like that. I think I had 2 of them the entire time, because I was like, literally the only time I took them was when the pain was so great I couldn't concentrate on anything else. You can't judge a person or a machine by their cover. You gotta look at their heart. Okay, fair. True. There's something sticking out of here. Looks like a shirt. I guess it must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was opened recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks out that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot, too. His wisdom teeth was probably oxycodone. That was the one. Yeah, it was oxycodone. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat either. Phoenix, don't be a fucking bitch. Nobody likes tucking their shirt. It sucks. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. Oh, you love it? That's, I can't relate. But good for you. Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. Afraid of losing control so you can't do the weed? I mean, weed's not so bad, to be honest. Like, I do weed, and it's definitely not, like, all that strong. Like, you can fucking, like, overdose yourself. Well, you can't actually technically overdose, but if you, like, you can take too much and have a bad time, but, like, just As long as you're, like, careful with your dosage, it's not gonna be much. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing! That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. Okay, yeah, but, alright. You used to get so high you couldn't hear the TV. Detective Goodman's note and the switchblade knife. I bet Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection? That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. But why would evidence from that case turn up now? I guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Now that was a bloody, violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? Fucking weed death is what I used to call it. That's crazy. A serial killing. Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake, and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him. And this was 2 years ago? That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight, and started the rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is. Huh? What do you mean? Like some weed crumbles in your ciggies when you wake up too early? I mean, weed will not wake you up. Like, that'll put you back down. At least for me. Weed makes me so sleepy. Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see? So that switchblade knife, the victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? That's the victim, Detective Goodman's ID card. These days, everything's cards and secret numbers. I can never relax. It's only because you always lose your card. I always forget my secret number, too. Scary, huh? My face should be ID enough. What's the world coming to? Detective Gumshoe, rebel against the system. Oh yeah, he's just bringing... These are just connected. Alright. This is my crowning achievement. My masterpiece, you might say. But art is always misunderstood, pal. Art? He was dancing proudly on the day of the awards ceremony, but there were a lot of people coming and going after the ceremony, so they took the Blue Badger away for a while. Really? Why? Oh, they said it was shameful or something like that. Shameful! I toiled day and night. I sympathize with Detective Gumshoe, but I can see why they moved it. Well, let's go see if... Oh, he's here. All right. Hey, do you want to... Here, have this. That smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas. So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas? No, I just saw a special on television the other day. Is this from my baby? Yeah, Miss Starr. What's this? What's wrong? A filet steak lunch. I see. I don't see. I wonder what it means. Alright, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Final, it seems like he's willing to talk. The sheriffs back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West here. Aha! But that and this are two different things entirely. I guess so? I'm lost. Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. The Wild Weasts. They also died from shitting out their intestines. That was the way to go back then. You shit your intestines out in an outhouse and you didn't complain one bit. When you were shitting your pants, you didn't hesitate for a second if somebody tried to step up on you. You still whipped out your gun and fired on them. Oh my god. That's dysentery, by the way. Yeah. Oh my god, what do you want me to show you? Dysentery Pog. You either died shitting your guts out or got tuberculosis. Or got gut shot and then died slowly over, like, several hours. You mean the consumption? A spot of consumption. Taken many a man. Oh my fucking god, what does he want? Hello. Huh? This thing doesn't have a bottom. I see you broke your toe. We gotta amputate your entire foot. Here's a shot of whiskey and a stick to put it down on. That's weird. I wonder which side is up. Better yet, what's the purpose of a bottomless jar? Now where's my rustiest saw? It's got the nice teeth on it. At least it doesn't collect dust inside, right? Blowed. Hey, look, they're hard to make out, but there are some dark red stains here. Looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. It would be brown at that point. This jar was evidence in the SL9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it. He doesn't act, like, it's like we gotta show him some evidence. I've been showing him so much evidence. Like, there's so much evidence that I've been showing him. Someone left a glove here, but only one. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? Here you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. You mean LCL9? It does have a tag on it. Okay, I guess I didn't grab this. The tag says SL911. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case. You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing. Huh? What's so confusing about that? Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag. Zag? Is that a word? Do you challenge me? What, are we playing a word game now? Zan. Hey, look at this. Yeah, he doesn't care. Big Sam, baby! Big fucking Sam. Do you care about this? Oh my god, he does not. He doesn't care about anything. Big Zan. Super Zan, even. The biggest Zan you can imagine. Just Xanax with the Zam legs. Anyway, Rip to Dozel, he was a space Nazi, but only because it was family business. God, that guy looked fucking crazy. The fact that he was related to any of the other ones was insane, just looking at him. Will you tell me anything about this fucking glove? Yeah, they don't care. We've reached the I don't know who to show things to part of the investigation. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir? He's passing the buck. I hate you, Meekins. Nothing to say to him. Did you do luminol in the evidence room? I did it in the evidence room, yeah. Have I tried talking to him? I haven't. There's the problem. I haven't talked to him yet. Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right? You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Actually, Officer Meekins at the detention center told us. Ah, that poor little doge. Poor guy. I keep getting his name wrong and call him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this, but since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, it might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know? So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murder took place? Well, I reckon I was galloping down the highway on the back of my steed, Zippy. Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy. There's no need for people here anyhow. Those newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. You mean the security camera system? I don't take to machines much. Kind of like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago. It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of a crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in the prairie fire. You're still investigating the SL9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you? That was my case. It's all solved in the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. Broccoli idiot doesn't like broccoli unbased. He doesn't like steamed broccoli. He's rebased. I'm unning your unbase. It's rebased. We're rebasing it. Steamed broccoli sucks, and anybody who defends it is like what the hell? You can have broccoli in so many ways, but you like steamed? The worst possible preparation for broccoli? It just makes it like slime. It's like goo. I can't let it go. That's all there is to it. Steamed broccoli with cheese? Even worse. Even worse. Literally, okay. Like, okay. if you don't like broccoli, I challenge you just like put it on a pan, cut it up, put it on a pan, put some fucking olive oil on it, some salt and pepper, just roast it for a little bit. I will eat that cold out of a bag in the refrigerator. Like, it's that good. But steamed broccoli, I won't even eat. Like, forget about it. What kind of case was it, anyway? We heard the name so many times, but nobody tells us what actually happened. If you steam it to goo, that's more a problem than steam problem. I mean, like, it's either barely cooked or it's just goo. Like, I've never steamed broccoli. It's just every time I've had steamed broccoli, that's what it's like. It's just wet, sad broccoli. When it could be like it eats crispy, have a little bit of texture to it. There are some things you better know off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transferals. Edgeworth was talking about the transferals, too. I know what maybe 2 of the machines in here do. Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen. Like I said, Bambina, I mean machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. The easiest ones to understand are this here security cameras. I mean, stewed, if that means cooked in a stew, which I assume it does, that would be probably fine, because at least it would have some, like, infused flavor. Those are the ones that Officer Meekins mentioned. If nothing happens, the takes are automatically erased every few hours. And Officer Meekins and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes? I reckon they might be. You're the security guard and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. He's not even saying steamed, he's saying stewed for both. I mean, he said stewed for cauliflower. I'm pretty sure he said steamed for broccoli. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record. Hey, I've seen that somewhere before. Sorry, Bambina. I can't show you more than that. You read it as stewed for broccoli too? Did I? Okay, never mind then. I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet. Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before. Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Sorry, but could you explain the whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault at the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February. I see now. Transferal is like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. And that happened to the SL9 2 days ago. Okay, so I need to prove that the stabbing has to do with who entered the fucking... See this? This is the victim's ID card. Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189. Gonna pop some Papa to corn? Some corn to pop? Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Yep, there it is. 5:14 p.m. Look, the fourth number. It's a perfect match. It was used at 5:14, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world. So when the incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room. Papa Gorn! But wait, what did Officer Meekins say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card. What did he do? That's the thing, suddenly he pointed a knife at me. If he had his ID card, then why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekins? Alright, compadre, you win. I guess I can give you this ID card record. I've got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Gumshoe! You dare try to ID me? Die. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. Ah, I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa! What is it? Nipako has been given the heat and posed. She can fucking nip with extreme prejudice now. The second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth. What? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Oops. So we have Edgeworth and Goodman. Edgeworth at 4:40. Wait, what was 5:12? Huh. Actually, maybe I should talk to him. Maybe he has something to say about it. Nope. Actually, maybe I could show it to, fucking... Because I don't think I showed it to him. Maybe he has something to say about it. Okay, so he doesn't give a shit. Oh my god, it's so bright. My fucking eyes. She doesn't care either. And then maybe Edgeworth is in his office. Actually, Meekins might have something to say about it. No, Edgeworth isn't in his office. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Oh my god. Okay, maybe criminal affairs. Nobody. Maybe I can talk to Chief? No, nothing. I'm just gonna spray all over. Spray everything. Get all of it. Oh, we got another hit. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey. That's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow 50 bucks from the chief. Where do you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Hey, pal, look at the time. Was there something you need to be getting to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. What the fuck is that? I'm gonna go give them my report for the day. It might help, you know? Report? You mean the note written on the back of the flyer? The one that says nothing but no problems? Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe? I'm off, pal. Later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do before. But I didn't realize that I needed to look at this one last locker. Edgeworth, quickly, there's no time. I need you to solve the case for me. Oh, Christ, not you. Oh, yes, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right? He has the hotel bring him tea service? Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe is looking for you. Ah, yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. To think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened? They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by Chief of Police Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still. Wow, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Here, I have a present for you. It's an ID card record with your name on it. Oh, right, I better check this now. As I was saying, What's this, a record of ID card usage? Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go, by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. AI-16. Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. And I'll be looking at that. tag says AI-16. What's this got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edgeworth said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Wouldn't that be nice? It doesn't have one of the screw bottoms that you can put stuff in. Phillips head, very nice. Or flat head. I honestly can't remember which. I like the flat ones. Right, please. I'm the prosecutor on this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea. I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on anyway? Maybe just show him my best evidence I can get some reaction out of him. He doesn't care. Okay. I don't know which evidence is the best evidence. There's no such thing as the best evidence. I'm just gonna keep trying stuff, I guess. He doesn't... Oh, shit. Fuck. He did the same expression, so I didn't realize. Isn't there, like, a history? Like a fucking... Oh. You can go to profiles. I mean, you don't get this. This is just how lawyers and prosecutors flirt. It's true. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You are the man who reviewed the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later. He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coop was involved in the case 2 years ago too, then. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code and I follow it faithfully. Emma, you don't... By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. Let's go! Fingerprint taking! Yes! It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and the fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Let's get the fuck out of here. Straight to the suspicious handprint where nothing bad is going to happen. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Well, there's two, actually, but... Here, in this blood on the detective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. A finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print. really can't tell the difference. Can you not, Phoenix? Jesus Christ. Quit procrastinating and choose a finger. Yeah, it's the thumb. Doy. Okay, now it's time to check for prints. Let me show you how it's done. Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eye. First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With enter. See? Ah, it looks like that did the trick. The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With E. Exciting, I know. I don't actually know what these buttons are. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake. See? Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I'd better give it a try. I'm pressing Y. Blow. Blow, you son of a bitch! E. Aha, you did it. You found one. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. They were wearing gloves, dumbass. Out of luck. But also, if they were wearing gloves, it wouldn't adhere because there wouldn't be any fucking... I mean, I guess it's just adhering to the blood. The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we check for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker door again closely. There it is! At the bottom left. Seems that there are some fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print. Fingerprints outside the blood. Beep. Spread this all over the fucking place. And press Y. See, now that's a fucking fingerprint, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Is that not good enough for you? Jesus Christ. I will thoroughly cover every inch of this fucking handprint. That's clear. Like, we have an extremely defined fingerprint, and that's not fucking good enough for her. Unbelievable. There we go. It's the worst of these minigames. You have to get like 98% or something, yeah. Yay, a print so clear it's dazzling. Dazzling? I mean, the fact that, like, I know it's a video game, but, like, the fact that there's no, like, getting a fingerprint this clear is fucking insane. Like, there's no smear at all. It's crazy. Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would be most likely to find on this evidence locker? Fucking Dick Gumshoe, baby. Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Boop. And then... This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right. There was a handprint here. Okay. Want to try using this? There go her eyes sparkling again. Okay, let's check for prints. That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first. What? The area where the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it with using chemical means. Any prints in that area will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. That'd be over here-ish, I believe. Eh. Oh, I have the dust. Is it seriously none here? Like, this is where you touch it. Where the fuck? Really? Like, just an invisible print? Extremely clear fingerprint. I mean, it's where the other fingerprints would be. I mean, yeah. On, you know, a hand. Well, what if this person only had 3 fingers? Let's see. No. There we go. Damn, then your job got much easier. Nuh-uh. Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma. This is decidedly different than Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. He does have that big knife that he carries everywhere. But why would Officer Marshall... It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I mean, he does keep saying that people shoot people for stuff in Texas. Maybe he just shoots people. Or stabs them. Or does whatever. I don't believe it. To be continued. Right now. Let's see how far we can get in this before stream's over. Because I'm a little tired already, but I want to keep going because it's been a while. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That is the sound of an exclamation mark. That's a trump card I have in my sleeve today. You don't understand what that means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna have a little sippy. Mouth was getting a little dry. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. An unprompted sip for free? That's right. On my channel, you sometimes get the cat girl watering herself. You don't even have to pay for it to happen. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slated both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to prevent impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Oh, Jesus. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Judge, you're supposed to be impartial? Ooh, boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. His fucking stupid little cat face. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Beacon, sir! My occupation is, that would be a murderer, sir. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir, so you have gotta believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is... Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults could possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am a part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Even that disgusting cop killer, the judge spits directly in his face impartially. That really is what it's like in America sometimes, huh? Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man at the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After I passed out, until another officer smacked me awake. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Beacon's family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. The Blue Badger? Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by Chief of Detectives, sir. Yay. BB. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very important mission. After the award ceremony was finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the blue badge to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you weren't in the we went in the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious... In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! It's the one right here. Could you please read the number? Yes, sir. It's 4849... it's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh. But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the blue badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during the second time when... Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? Badger Cam. It was a knife, sir. A knife. Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That was when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe you just kept your cool. Maybe you just kept your cool. Your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. He fucking did it, man. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. See. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious! Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain! That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. I believe what we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man in this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regards to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. The chief? Delivered it? What is that, a videotape? Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and I was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well, then let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? What's up, Badger? Let's go. My man, the Blue Badger. Busting it down hard. You will truly hate this fucking thing because of this part. He's helping. He's keeping morale high. You have to watch this video like 8 times and it's 4 minutes long. Yeah. It's just to remind you how good the Blue Badger is every time, you know? And how much Meekins sucks. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? What the hell was that wiggling piece of plywood? Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone in the evidence room, and some sort of activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have had to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label it, people have seen or not seen that man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I'd bet my badge on it. Prepare to lose your badge, man. But there's no question of that. Yeah. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it. Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it. Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Ew. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished the knife at you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive that it was him. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to. Exactly my point, sir, and this too. The locker he opened is unquestionably... How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir. From people in the know, sir. People in the know. The workers at the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir. For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir, if I may say something, sir. Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem? There is a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Holloway fucking eated. We love to see it. I wish I could fast forward this. Nice VHS. I'm gonna wing it. Strange. The contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? The video contains such a contradiction? Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to us the alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out. Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of. I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause. Oh, thank God. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer? Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman? Fast forwarding. And we see we don't have a coat there. We don't have anything hanging out. He walks by. There's still nothing in there. They fight. Still nothing there. He walks past the camera. And then there is right there. Take that! The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean? Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you're looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman. But I literally pointed that out because he opened a different locker, but whatever. Ooh, I almost walked right into the defense's trap. I'll place him under arrest, sir. Rats. I need to slow things down and take it one piece at a time. Now what do I do? Play the video again. Every time you point your finger, something bad happens. Alright, let's fucking try this again. Okay, so Goodman's locker is... Oh! Fuck, there it is. I fucking found it. Okay. The light's already on. Oops. Take that! Why are you sending hands? The thing that's, oh, he's being unsuspected. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Why is it playing again? Why is the sound, is he in the room? Is the Blue Badger in the room with us? When you grab the handle, a sensor read your fingerprint to spite me. Clearly, yeah, it's specifically an attack at you, Uplick. Because it's a fucking bop. True. Is the Blue Badger in the room with us right now? The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Oh my god, we have to look at it again. Just show us the still image. Oh my god, is he gonna play the whole thing? Sure is. Why wouldn't they just do the whole image? Oh my god, the flag is stuck. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! He made like a chicken noise. Order, order. What is the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. Oh, he's smug now. The locker wasn't locked the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked, unless there's a fucking glove in the way. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor, since it would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage. There's like 3 or 4. Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this. Fast forwarding. Fast forwarding. A beep. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Quick, let's watch it again without sound. It'll make it easier to see, since your ears won't be occupied. It's just like the Daredevil. Except, you know, reversed. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. Wish whoever broke the Badger did a better job. So mean to them. They're just doing their job. Jesus Christ. I often fall and roll at great distances when we can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. And if someone was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door. Inserted? Oh my god, again? I'm looking at my watch, even though I'm not wearing one, I'm looking at it. The watch in my mind's eye. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. I mean, his tie is like in his jacket. How does this happen? Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene, luckily for you guys, I went to electrician's college. I know what an insulator is. There just might be something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I've finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door? Kapow. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. It has a tag that says SL9 incident. Also, you can very clearly see it in the videotape, but we never paused on that frame because, I don't know, we're stupid, I guess. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order, order, order. So are we to believe that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke? Very well, begin your testimony. Mystery Man 2, the sequel. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective used its ID. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:14 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Cases where the police murdered a bunch of people? Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most of them were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. As solid as a stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Yep. Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards? Yes, sir. The card right next to my cuffs, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, like keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Every time this character's on screen, I feel rage like an ape seeing exposed teeth. He's pathetic and wet in the most horrible way. Well, the remaining time, it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Also the megaphone noise? Yeah, for real. Please proceed with your testimony. Don't worry, we'll kill him after this this cross-examination, I hope. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness was referring to. Let's see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Look at his little fucking smile. Aw, oh, damn it. I was gonna he had a little fucking kitty face on him. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Yes, true. You got the wrong color, kid. It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's so obvious I don't even notice it. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we got. I mean, obviously, it's possible that fucking someone else could have the ID card, but I don't know how I prove that with how I show that with evidence. Yabba-dab. Fucking yabba-dab. Am I right? Biddy-bop-booty-doo-doo. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-doo. I'd like to point out that it might not have been his card that he used. It might have been, you know, Goodman's card with a different person. And that he didn't show it to you because you would have noticed that his face was different. But, like, I don't know how to fucking say that with evidence. I hate when the game is like, oh, it's extremely obvious. And I'm just like, I'm overthinking the shit out of this. It's not obvious. My brain is hurting. Where did you find the card? I mean, on his body. On a good, like, it was, somewhere in the garage. It was, like, it was in his wallet, like, far away from the body. But I don't know how that, like... I'm gonna save. Just because I'm gonna start throwing the ID at things, I feel like. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. Okay, so yeah, it worked. Okay. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report? It's only half completed, but it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Oh, and he couldn't remember his number because what he lost was his ID. Okay. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Order, order. So now what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order, order, order. Does the prosecution have a response? I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo. Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't gonna end well. Oh yeah, he's gonna say that it's not relevant. Well, it seems you finally realized. Exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot, at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this, man? I'm gonna object. I always object. You always object when you get the chance to object. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Actually, now that I'm noticing, the coat has the same bloodstain on the same shoulder as the one Lana was wearing in the picture. However, it cannot be said that it's unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident in the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh? Whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name? I like how it says Texas Ranger, and then it's like, but who is it? Thinks he's a cowboy.
Take that!
Officer, Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. I'm a cowboy, baby! Ye fucking haw. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need to look longer than 30 minutes. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. And if this is a save point... Nope, not yet. Actually, no, this is a good time to stop. It's 8:30-ish, my mouth is dry, and, I'm gonna find somebody to raid. Okay. Ugh. Oh, I don't have Firefox open. Itchy is live. Yeah, Itchy's always live on Fridays. Let's see who there is to raid. It's probably going to be Itchy, but we'll see. I like to, you know, like give a variety on the people that I raid. Let's see. Peachy's playing Cassette Beasts, which Teeps recommended to you, Holiday. But Ichi's playing more World of Horror, and I do like World of Horror, so we're going to raid Ichi. Thank you all very much for coming. Thank you all very much for coming. I always appreciate seeing you guys around. We're going to be playing more, oh shit. I spelled Megiddo wrong. I wrote Megiddo. Medito, Ichi. Teams, you recommended cassette. Somebody recommended Cassette Beasts? No, it was Uplink. Right, yeah. I don't know. I was paying attention to the video game. We're gonna be playing more Disco Elysium on Sunday. It's not gonna be with the Twitch integration because it appears not to even work. I will still be asking for input at crucial moments, but mostly it is just going to be a challenge run. On Wednesday, we're going to be getting into more art. I'm going to be working on more emotes because we still haven't filled all those slots yet. I might also work on some other stuff. It depends on how I'm feeling. It's probably just going to be emotes for the stream, though. And yeah. I'll see you guys then. I hope you have a fantastic night. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And bye-bye.